Phillips inside is Sabonis. A two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
It's time for game night. Getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball.
He's got the bucket.
Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good afternoon to you. Welcome into Game Day. We're coming to you live from the Sactown Sports 1140 studios. Scott Marsh with the high flyer, Henry Turner, getting you ready for the Kings and the Bucks game 4, this 5-game road trip for the Kings. They come in at 2-1 on the road, won the first 2 in Detroit and Charlotte. Didn't really compete against Philadelphia on Friday night. We'll get into that, losing 112-93. But still a chance to make it a winning road trip. But as we know, it won't be easy tonight against one of the best teams in the league in the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll be with you until 3:30 today, breaking it all down. If you want to join us, you certainly can at 916-339-1140. Give us a call. We'd be more than happy to talk to you, get your takes on the Kings, any questions you may have. Of course, we're up and running as well in our YouTube chat room. You can log on there at Sactown 1140. All right, high flyer. It's an NFL weekend. Of course, we know games have been postponed. We don't know if the Buffalo game's going on.
Right.
The one thing we know for the Kings, they're playing indoors tonight. And that's a very good thing because it's like -2 or 3 right now in Milwaukee.
Hey, it's for real back there.
No doubt.
You know, for anybody in Sacramento that's stepping outside saying, "Ooh, it's cold," man, look at what they got going back east. That's crazy.
Yeah, we all need a reality check.
I wouldn't make it. I'm telling you, I wouldn't make it. No way, no how.
No doubt. I saw the G-Bad's tweet.
Yeah.
Basically flying into Milwaukee, and it just looked like it was Tinderland. It was just so frozen.
Scott, I don't even have no clothes that can like defend for that. No way I wouldn't make it.
Hopefully the off-ramp and straight into the building wasn't far for the Kings in Milwaukee.
Well, the Kings travel very well.
They do, but they still have to land and they still have to get inside.
I know that firsthand. They travel very well.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it. They'll be fine. Hopefully they'll be ready to go tonight. That's a different question because, again,
let's get to it.
We're on the teeter-totter, right?
Come on. I know where you're headed. Come on. We got to go back to Philly first. Come on. So let's get to it.
We got to do it because, obviously, the Kings, you know, they didn't really compete again in Philadelphia. And this was a Sixers team that's a good team, regardless whether they have Embiid or not. But certainly when they don't have Embiid, they're not as good. Kings never got into this game. They trailed after 1. They never took a lead afterwards, losing 112-93. What did you see?
I saw something that for the first time, it's alarming, but it should have been alarming one of the first times it happened, Scott. The Kings go down again early by 20. This is becoming a common theme, right?
Yep.
And never mind who you play. And we know Philly is still a good squad. Never mind that Embiid wasn't there. Never mind that it's Philly because it's happened to other teams. It's happened to Charlotte. It happened in Detroit, right?
Yep.
It's starting to become a common theme. This team gets down early, right? And they try to make this Herculean comeback and try to come back from 20 points down. But another thing that's a common theme is Sabonis plays good, De'Aaron plays good, and I'm talking about the starting 5.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Keegan Murray has played very good basketball the last 5-6 games. But you're getting nothing out of that 2 and out of that 3 spot.
Yeah. That's
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, and it's tough to overcome. There's no question about that. In fact, our poll question we have going in the Sactown chat room right now is who should be the 5th starter for the Kings, especially if Kevin Huerter's. He's questionable for today, so we'll see if he plays. I don't know if he will or not, but who would you like in there? So we put Trey Lyles in there. We put Chris Duarte. We also put Malik Monk in there.
Well, the thing about it is that Duarte's been in there.
True.
And he's giving you.
I didn't put him as an option now.
Nothing.
But he's in there. Or other. You can put other if you want to in our poll.
You know, something is going to have to change with not just the 1-2 spot, but the 3 spot also.
Yep.
You know, you're going down big time. And, you know, and I know where Coach Mike is with Malik Monk.
Mhm.
For one, he wants Malik Monk to win the Sixth Man of the Year.
Yes.
He's really, really,
Yes.
pushing for that. But number two is that he wants something coming off his bench to be able to, keep the bench going. But I'm like this: if you go down so badly with your starters, it makes no difference what you got coming off the bench, Scott.
Yeah.
So at some particular point, he's going to have to push Malik Monk in that starting position and bring Trey Lyles and put Trey at that starting position just so this team don't get down big.
Yeah, no, I think we're getting close to that point. I mean, the Kings are 23-15, but still we've seen some definitely lows along the way. And to back up your point, so talking about right now for Harrison Barnes in specific, over the last 7 games, he's averaging 8 points, 2 rebounds, and taking 4.1 attempts per game.
Unacceptable.
And now those are threes, I should say. So he probably has more attempts than that, but still 8 points and 2 rebounds over the last 7.
Unacceptable. And Scott, he's not taking that many more shots.
No, it isn't, for sure.
He shot 1 for 3 the other night.
Yeah, and he was overall against the Bucks for Philly, 1 of 5 from the floor, 0 of 4 from distance.
5 shots.
Yep.
This is a guy who has complete autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
He can do whatever he wants out there on the floor. He can shoot the ball as many times as he wants. That's the crazy thing about this with me, Scott, is that Coach Brown hasn't put a limit, as far as we know, on anyone shooting the basketball, and especially anybody in the starting 5.
No, he encourages it. What's his phrase?
Yes.
Let it fly.
Hey, anybody in the starting 5, you got all the leeway in the world to shoot the basketball. There's no way you play 20, 30 plus minutes and you only get up 5 shots. That tells me something right there.
Yeah, it's not enough. And for Herter, we know he's struggling. If you look at his numbers in January, he's averaging 5 points a game. That includes that 17-point fourth quarter game he had against the Pelicans when the game was already over. So he's shooting 39%, or let's put it this way, he's shooting 15% from 3-point range for the month, and that's down from 31% in December.
And Scott, you have to make a change, because if he's not getting it done in the starting lineup, bring him off the bench and he might start finding just a little bit more confidence to where you can insert him back in. But as of right now, to where you're losing, we know this is a win-win league. Yep. And the Kings are still playing great basketball.
Yep. The trend line on
they're still playing great basketball. But like I said, we see this team every night, so we see the holes.
Yep.
We see the shortcomings. That's why we can point them out. If this team can get, we talk about the word consistency.
Yeah.
If this team can get a consistent 5 out there on the floor, man, we talking about sky is the limit.
No doubt. And obviously we're having this conversation in Sacramento, and there's probably 10 other NBA cities right now that are having the same conversation. Now, Milwaukee is in a different spot than Sacramento. They've won an NBA championship. They have an MVP player, all of those types of things. But if you listen to Milwaukee talk right now, they're 27-12, and it's all about what's wrong with this team right now. They're not playing defense. They're not living up to expectation. All of those things, which, I almost feel like if we were talking Milwaukee radio, you might hear some similar themes.
But here's the difference, Scott. Milwaukee has a freak. All right?
Sure, they have a true MVP.
No, a true freak.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
All right. We got good players, but we don't have a freak. All right. They got a Dame Lillard. We ain't got a Dame.
Yeah.
They got a Brook Lopez. We don't have one of those either.
Right.
They got a Middleton. We still ain't got one of those. So, and plus, they have been to the mountaintop.
Yes.
They know exactly what it takes to win. We haven't gotten close to that.
I'm not saying the two teams are the same. I'm just saying the impressions amongst the teams.
I mean, I'm understanding what you're saying, but we're talking about this, right? And the team is playing better than what they played last year.
Right, exactly. It's because our expectations are so much different. Right?
There you go.
And obviously the Bucks' expectations are even higher than the Kings' expectations.
They're to the moon. It's championship or bust, no doubt.
Yeah, no question. And we'll get into the Bucks throughout the next hour as well. Interesting as they come in 27-12. They beat the Warriors last night. They didn't necessarily look great. I mean, it was a Warriors team on a back-to-back. Steph didn't play. They found a way to win that game, and that was coming off being down 37 points at halftime to the Celtics. They didn't even play their starters in the second half. So a lot to talk about in Milwaukee. But first, just to round out conversation about the Sixers on Friday night, the points in the paint, our look at that. The Kings, it was pretty even in the paint. Sixers 44, Kings 42. I guess without Embiid, maybe you would expect a little bit more dominance from the Kings in that regard.
Yes, I would. I would have. But you know what? I watched that game, Scott, and that game sent home another message to me is that, I talk about the levels and there's layers to winning. Philly is on a different level than what we're doing than where we are. I watched every last single one of their players. They have some very good veterans, and they came out, they played the game right. They approached the game right. Yes, Embiid was out, but, they went down the line and said, hey, we know not one person can fill big fella's shoes, but the way we have to do it, Tobias, you got to give me an extra 20%.
Boy,
okay?
He did too. That's 37 points.
Yes. Platoon, you got to give me an extra 10%. Pat Bev, I need an extra 10% from you. They got it done collectively, Scott. And I will say this. And a lot of people look past it, but I definitely think it's true. The way they came out, the way they defended us, Scott, the way they played us, their whole game set, I call it the Bobby Jackson factor.
Okay. Yep. Bobby obviously has more intel
Bobby
than anybody.
knows this team so well. The things that they did to Sacramento, you had to have inside knowledge of what was going on.
No doubt. All right. Our points in the paint brought to you by RT Painting, your reliable and trusted painter in the Sacramento market since 1998. And again, you look at the box score. 112 is not a bad defensive effort. They only scored 93. They did not have a quarter where they scored 30 points. Not one single quarter of the four where the Kings got over 27.
Scott, you just heard what I said.
The Bobby Jackson factor.
The way they defended the Kings. I mean, they ran defenses at Sabonis to where we would say, damn, they must really know this guy because they know he don't like turning this way. They're forcing him to go the other way. As soon as he touched the ball, it's a guy coming from over there. He knows where this dude is really have a shortcoming at. Same thing with De'Aaron. I mean, we're going to let some of these other guys do it because we know they can't beat us. They played almost a perfect game against Sacramento. Like I said, it had to be the Bobby Jackson factor.
No doubt it helped having him on the bench. The Sixers were ready to go, and Maxey is another player that, might just be all-star caliber this year.
Maxey played great. And not just Bobby Jackson. They had the other Kings assistant, Rico Hines.
Yes, Rico Hines.
Yeah,
part of that bench.
Rico's on the bench. So, bro, Rico didn't basically train half of these cats on his team. He knows the ins and outs. I'm telling you, their game plan was just too flawless for to say, oh, well, we saw this on film. No, they know.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the other thing here, obviously it's NFL playoff Sunday. The Milwaukee's at home, but the Packers right now are beating the Cowboys 20-000. What do you think about the state of Wisconsin right now in terms of the interest in this Bucks Kings game?
Oh, none. They're off the chain right now and Green Bay, but I tell you what, I know a whole lot of Dallas fans. I mean, they just ready to jump off the side of the roof right now.
No question.
Because you know what? Dallas fans are they are the epitome of, privileged. And when their team loses, it's like the world stops.
Well, I tell you what, it's near halftime. They're down 20-0. We'll see how that comes back. All right, we're going to focus in on NBA. Kings and Bucks. Our look back at the last game brought to you by Folsom Lake Honda. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. We'll take the break. When we come back, we'll start breaking down the Bucks a little bit more and your thoughts about whether this is a true championship team or not and how they are with Damian Lillard this year versus where they were at last year. That and a lot more, and we'll be up and running in our chat room as well. It's game day right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
All righty, we're live on our YouTube, as you call it, the YouTube chat room.
What do you want me to call it, Kyle?
Chat room makes it sound old, but it's I guess
what would be new?
I guess a live stream.
Okay, we'll call it the
YouTube
Sacktown stream. Does that make you feel better? I'm all about making you feel better, Kyle.
Sure. Sacktown Stream is fine.
Okay,
Anyways,
there you go. Sacktown Stream it is from now on. For you, Kyle.
you
don't have a Milwaukee hat on today.
I know. I forgot on the way out the door. It's okay.
Okay.
I did have one. I want the people to know I did have a Milwaukee Brewers hat
Okay.
available and ready, but I
All
did
right.
not remember to bring it today.
All right. So we put up the poll question. We getting any takes on that?
It's overwhelmingly coming back Malik Monk, which
Okay.
isn't the most surprising.
No.
I like the idea of Trey Lyles, sliding in and then moving Keegan to the 3 and potentially guarding 2s. I think it's not. I've been saying since the start of the year, I'd love to see Keegan playing the 3. They just don't really have the personnel to do it, but it seems the people are overwhelmingly going Malik Monk.
Now, why do you say they don't have the
I
personnel?
was about to say, so why?
I
Why?
think that absolutely would be a
Well,
personnel unit that would work.
At this point, it would be Herter, Keegan, and Barnes goes to the bench, or you want to play Barnes at the 2 in this scenario?
No, Barnes go to the bench, and where there's Duarte or
Barnes and Herter both go to the
Herter,
bench.
both of them go to the bench.
Okay. In that case, then they would move Barnes to the bench essentially in that
Right,
scenario. But when they brought back Barnes at the start of the year, it was kind of understood it would be the same starting 5 as last year.
Things
That's what I meant
change.
by that.
No, things should change.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
That's what I meant by it's the personnel wise. The reason I put the other, and I was kind of curious.
Yeah, are we
about
getting
that.
any other others?
I'm the only one who put down other, and the idea for that is like, if they flipped, one of those end of the bench guys for like an Alec Burks and plugged Alec Burks in at the 2, I think that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. And then Herter comes off the bench, but
Huh?
I wanted to put
What?
that out there.
Who?
Just another 2.
You said Alec Burke?
He
Alec
says if they
Burks.
flipped Alec Burke,
No, I'm saying, no, if
went,
they-
like
no,
like
if-
went and traded for Alec Burke. I don't know who we trade for him. I mean, but
It's just pick a player, Davion, Duarte, just one of the bench guys, and then throw in a 2nd-round pick or something.
but why would you do that? Right?
Wait, am I missing something? Alec Burks is on our bench?
no,
No,
I'm saying
he's
trade.
not.
I'm saying a trade.
I'm saying,
Okay.
why
All right.
would you do that?
We're fighting to our Kings
Exactly.
roster for now.
Why
Right?
would you do that
Not
when you
necessarily.
haven't exhausted all
All right.
means of the players that you have now? Put Malik Monk in the starting lineup, and if he don't give it to you, okay, then you go outside and get something. But give this dude a chance to see what happens when he starts.
Yeah.
It seems like the people agree with you overwhelmingly. They want to
Okay.
see what happens with Malik Monk, and
Yeah. There's a reason because it makes more sense, Kyle.
absolutely. But we're just we're running through the same ideas again because
All
Brown
right.
is consistent on we're gonna have Malik come off the bench,
right.
and
All right. You can have your Alec Burke. comment.
that was just the alternative option.
Fair enough.
I'm not
That's
saying
fine.
that's the
Hey,
go-to.
It's your Sacktown stream. You can do whatever you want with it.
Visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Welcome back into game night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the High Flyer, Henry Turner. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. For many of you, it's an extended weekend with the Martin Luther King holiday tomorrow. So hopefully it's a great 3-day weekend for you. And of course, MLK Day is such a special day for the league, Henry, with the NBA playing games. And Memphis always has a home game. And it's just one of those special days that the league so rightly honors and does in such a very good way as Green Bay has just scored again. Not to interrupt my thoughts on MLK, but obviously that's 27-0 now, Green Bay.
It is a special day for the league, and I'm glad that the league pays homage to the holiday, and the players are all into it, and for everything that they put out there. I like the way they take care of it. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's one of the special days in the league, like Christmas Day, and it's certainly
I'm all
we'll have
for it.
a lot of games throughout the day tomorrow. All right, so let's break down the Bucks a little bit. Let's get into this. Obviously, they made some changes, some massive changes in the offseason. They went out and got Damian Lillard after everybody thought he was going to Miami. That didn't happen. Drew Holiday leaves. Grayson Allen gone. They're still trying to find themselves a little bit. They're 27-12. They've won their last 2, but only 5 of their last 10. Giannis has been very vocal this year. He's come out and said that the team isn't giving enough. Everybody's got to get better. The defense has got to get better. The coaches have to get better. The players have to get better. Even threw in the equipment manager, saying the equipment manager has to get better.
The popcorn vendor,
Everybody involved has to get better. So obviously they're not personally happy with where they're at right now. That's probably a good thing because they're thinking championship or bust. But on Thursday night, they went down 37 to the Celtics, who were above them in the standings. The starters didn't even come out in the second half. Adrian Griffin, who is in for Budenholzer, who got let go, waved the flag. And where are the Bucks at?
Scott, I'm gonna throw it out there like this because our Sacramento Kings fan base wants a splash so bad for this team, and look what Milwaukee did. Milwaukee went out and they made the biggest splash that anybody has made in the league. I mean, they went out and got a bona fide player, and and everybody thought that, Milwaukee's going to be unstoppable now because they have Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
Well, it just hasn't curled right yet. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying right now, it's not really working for them because, they were so used to having Middleton and Grayson Allen.
Yeah, and Middleton's still playing, but he's still recovering from the knee. Like, Middleton's not going to play tonight.
Not Middleton, but Drew.
Drew Holiday, yeah.
They were so used to having Drew and Grayson at their disposal, and they fit in well.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the camaraderie side of it. You get rid of those two guys, you bring a hell of a player over in Dame Lillard, but it's not the same. Same thing with what the LA Clippers is going through now. They're starting to find it, but it's not the same. It's not like you're going to get these guys and all of a sudden, boom, you're going to be that much better.
Yeah, and no doubt that Damian Lillard's a Hall of Famer, and he's one of your favorite guys, and him, Oakland connection, of that. Absolutely.
All that.
But the one thing about Drew Holiday, he's a better defensive player than Dame.
He's a better defensive player, and I actually thought that, losing Drew was going to hurt them a little bit on the defensive side, but I thought that they were so solid, and so stacked in that front court, it wasn't going to make any difference. You still have Brook Lopez as your anchor. You still have Middleton, but even though he's hurt, that's a big part of it.
Yep.
You had Middleton on one side. You got the Greek Freak on the other side. All you got to do is be able to stand and guard that three-point line, because if they get past you, you got three guys that's going to funnel them too.
Yeah.
So they should be able to handle that. But like you said, Middleton's been hurt. Giannis has been doing what he's doing, and they haven't been as good defensively.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, last night they took on Golden State, and again, Golden State didn't have Steph. He was on rest after second night playing in Chicago. Obviously, we know Chris Paul's not there. Draymond's not back yet. The Warriors really didn't have a lot going, but they were very competitive against the Bucks. The Bucks' big three, Middleton, along with Dame and Giannis, went for 84 points, and still that game was very close till late fourth quarter.
I will say this about Golden State, Scott. If you don't have those guys, I mean, come on, who would they have? Clay and Kuminga?
Clay and Pajetsky started.
Thank you. Yeah. They were on life support.
Yeah.
And if life support can walk in and give Milwaukee that, I'm feeling pretty good about the game tonight.
Yeah.
Because we're fully staffed.
Yep. The Bucks are on the back-to-back tonight,
but
without Middleton.
But our guys, now, our guys got to come with a different mindset, because our guys have been going down 20 against Folsom Middle School. So they got to come in with a different mindset.
Yeah, no doubt. But and here's kind of the point I was trying to make in the last segment. Obviously, we're breaking down the Kings, and we're being a lot more critical about them this year than last year. Understandably so. It's year 2 versus year 1, so we get that. Now, if you look at the Bucks in the standings right now, they're second in the Eastern Conference. The only team that's better than them right now is the Celtics, who are 30-9. The Bucks are 18-4 at home. They have a winning road record. So in the big picture of things, it's still looking pretty good, right?
They're right,
but
where
nobody's
they want to
happy back in Milwaukee right now.
Just like what we're going through here,
That's
Scott.
my point.
I mean, that's why I want to throw it out there now, and I'm always trying to compare the two teams. Is that overall, the grand scheme, Milwaukee's right where they want to be.
Yeah.
They're championship or bust.
Yes.
They're right where they want to be, but everybody that's in Milwaukee, just like the people here in Sacramento, they see the holes.
Yeah.
They see where they can be better.
Yeah.
Same thing with Sacramento. We're playing better than we played last year in the overall scheme, but we see the holes. And we see where they can be better.
No doubt. It's also the ups and downs, right? I mean, being down 37 at half to the Celtics, it's kind of like us in our game against the Pelicans, right? Regardless of what the overall trend is, how do you explain individual games like that? And again, it might just simply be it's the NBA.
Those are alarms that go off. It's like, whoa, hey, wait a minute. We're Milwaukee. right? We don't care that we're playing Boston, but there's no way we need to be down that much. No, they're not that much better than we are. Because if they are, we might as well pack it up. We're not going to be able to get there.
No question. And the other thing to keep in mind, of course, that Bucks are going to be judged in the postseason. Nothing about what they do in the regular season. Is it possible that the Bucks maybe are a better regular season team with the lineup they had last year with Holiday and the depth they had with Allen and all of that? But when you factor in the Dame situation in the playoffs and game Dame and it's Dame time and the big game shots, maybe we'll think about it differently in May and June.
You know what? I've said this from the very beginning. You know, when it comes down to playoffs and it comes down to, you know, you trying to win a 7-game series, playing hard just don't cut it. That's where talent steps up. You know, I mean, how many times have Dame just stepped up and just, you know,
ripped out the hearts
thank you,
of that our team.
Just talent. It's not like, you know, he plays that much harder. The dude is just talented, bro, and that trumps the rest of it. So when Milwaukee needs a bucket, and you know, let's say they playing Boston. When Milwaukee needs a bucket, and Boston builds that wall that stops Giannis, well, the ball's not in Giannis' hands no more. And I don't care what wall you put down there, Dame Lillard will shoot over it.
Yeah. There's not many players in the league who can hit a game-winning 30-footer.
That's what I'm saying.
In the conference series.
Exactly. And so now it's like pick your poison. Which one you going to do?
Yeah. All right. Be interesting to see what happens to Milwaukee along the way. We know the Kings will have a chance to beat the Bucks tonight, who are on a back-to-back. Kings looking for a winning road trip. This is Game Nights brought to you by Power Business Technology. Experience how the power of family can help your business office equipment needs today. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or go to powercopiers.com. When we come back, we're going to go around the league. Draymond is coming back. He'll be with the Warriors. He's planning his return tomorrow against the Grizz. Some news in Detroit. Marvin Bagley traded.
Right, I heard that.
Heading to Washington for Gallinari and Muscala. We'll talk about that, some other things, some other news and notes. We'll get you caught up on the other games going on a Sunday here in our capital city. It's game night. Sacktown Sports 1140.
All righty, we are clear. And Henry, in the first segment, you were talking about the starting lineup and the Bucks kind of adjusting, and it reminded me of something interesting I saw earlier in the week. So the Bucks have lost, or the Kings have lost 14 games in a row against Milwaukee.
True.
And the last time the Kings beat the Bucks was
2017, I believe.
No, 2015. 2015. It was November of 2015, I believe.
Okay.
And in that game, Giannis was starting at small forward and Chris Middleton was starting at shooting guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. For 7 to 9 years, they've had that same continuity of those two players in the starting lineup.
My only question with your math, if it's been 7 years.
I'm sorry. Last time they won in Milwaukee. That was the adjustment. Last time they won in Milwaukee.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, High Flyer.
No, he was just talking about how long both of those guys have been together.
Yeah.
You talk about the camaraderie that they build up. You know, it's kind of like the same thing that they're doing with Tatum and Brown. You know, those guys have played together. They know one another. You know, kind of like Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox. It's like we've played together all of our lives. So putting us together and putting us on the field, of course, something good's going to happen.
We were talking about changing lineups and stuff like that. And it's so interesting that even as the Bucks have gone from Eric Bledsoe to Drew Holiday to now to Lillard, you mentioned Grayson Allen. They've rotated through players, but having those two constants has been huge for always having that stability. And I think we hope that like Fox and Sabonis will anchor that as the Kings adjust their starting lineups over the years. But there's a difference between playing 120 games together versus 1,000 games together like the Bucks have.
And you know, look at what you just said. You said Bledsoe, Middleton. Those guys are very similar.
Bledsoe, yeah.
Those two guys are very similar. And then now, okay, you bring in an offensive juggernaut like a Dame. Well, you know, Milwaukee is still going to be good because people really underestimate how good Drew Holiday really is. I'm telling you, Drew Holiday to me is probably in top 5 guards, bro.
He's the reason they won that NBA Finals. I mean, they were down 2-0, and then they told him, go guard Chris Paul. Prioritize taking away Chris Paul, and it swung that series.
Let me tell you, and he plays both sides of the ball. Offensively, okay, you might look at Drew Holiday and say, he might be top 10, top 15. Defensively, he's definitely top 5. And I'm saying for what he brings to a basketball club, his basketball IQ, he's high on my list.
Mm-hmm. And everything kind of feels like it's going to work out for them. I mean, granted, they'll probably face Holiday at some point in the playoffs this year, but you're absolutely right. Losing him changed the dynamic of that team, and adding him to Boston, I mean, it's the reason why Boston's winning these games by 30, 35 points instead of just these.
Exactly.
They were great last year, but they weren't dominating teams like they are this year.
I mean, Drew Holiday might be one of the perfect plug-and-play guys. Wherever you take him to and plug him in, he's going to work.
Guy's a winner.
Yeah, and he's still a legitimate all-star in the league. I don't think he'll get in this year just because of a numbers game, but he's still a legit all-star in the league.
Pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back to the game night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall along with the High Flyer Henry Turner. Some good conversation in our Sacktown stream going on during the timeout. And if you tried calling in, please try calling back in. We'll get to your phone call at 916-339-1140 as well. Hank and I were with you until 3:30, getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. Kings and Bucks 4 o'clock tip. The G-Man with the call. Hopefully the G-Man's thawed out by 4 o'clock.
I'm trying to tell you, somebody give my man a portable heater.
Exactly. As it is frigid, as we know, in the Midwest, negative temperatures in Milwaukee at tip-off for this. Unfortunately, they are comfortable inside the 5 Serve Forum. By the way, I've been to 5 Serve Forum. I went back there for a couple of games last year. I was traveling with UC Davis. It's one of the newer arenas in the building. It's also downtown. Nice arena. But again, nothing in comparison to Golden One Center. We'll just say that.
Golden One is nice.
It's the best.
Golden One is nice. Chase Center is very, very nice. It's all from the water. I got to give them that. But I'm hearing this new stadium in Inglewood is about to be off the chain.
Yeah, the Intuit Dome.
Yeah, they said this was about to be
Steve Ballmer
very
production.
nice.
That Steve Ballmer's not going to allow himself to be outdone by anybody.
And
right?
the one they're building in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
They say the one they're building in Vegas is going to really be nice.
I can only imagine what that's going to be. All right, good stuff there. Let's go around the league. Game night being brought to you by National Garage Door. Call today for your basketball special, 916-638-4554. All right, so Draymond Green planning to make his return tomorrow at nationally televised game. The Grizz hosting the Warriors. Green's missed 13 games while being out, which was a indefinite suspension at first and reinstated on January 7th. The Warriors actually during that time frame went 8-8. They're under 500 overall, so they were able to at least tread water in the time that Draymond was gone. What do you think Draymond will give the Warriors coming back? Will it be enough of an extra push to get the Warriors back in a place where they want to be?
Well, here's the deal. You still had a Clay, you still had a Steph, and you had a Chris Paul.
Yep.
You treaded water. So treading water shouldn't be hard with those three.
Yeah. Now Paul is out.
But I'm saying you had
at that time. Yeah.
Yes, you had a Paul.
Yeah.
So treading water shouldn't be that hard.
Okay.
Now, add in a Draymond Green, take out a Chris Paul. Hopefully he's going to bring some stability. Because he is the heart and soul of their defense. So defensively, they should be a lot better. They run the offense through him. So, when you look at camaraderie out there on the floor, cohesiveness, things should be a lot better also. So he is a positive to that crew. It's just all about, is he going to be able to stay on the floor and not be able to, be in foul trouble and get the dumb technicals.
Yeah, and Warriors currently 18-21. They're 12th in the Western Conference, and even though they've gone 8-8 without Draymond, they've only won 3 of their last 10. So they do need him back, obviously.
No doubt. I mean, as crazy as all the antics that he gives you on the floor, the team is much better with him on the floor because he does all the things that, the other guys don't. He takes on all the tangibles. He does all the dirty work. Every good team needs one, but they need one that'll be able to be there at their disposal and not be a hindrance as far as getting technicals.
Yeah, for sure. And, what about Memphis? Boy, their luck this year is just worse than bad. It is just historically bad, as not only John Morant, of course, missed the first 25, now out for the year with the shoulder surgery, but Marcus Smart's hurt. He's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Desmond Bain got hurt, rolled an ankle last night. This team, Jaren Jackson didn't play last night. Steven Adams is out for the year. I mean, it just feels so apocalyptic what's going on in Memphis right now.
Somebody must have crossed a black cat.
Something
because
remove the ladders.
Man, they have definite bad luck. And I mean, and it's firing on all cylinders. What can you do when you have a situation like that?
You can only plan for next year.
That's it. That is it. You know what? You can just say, all right, fellas.
Yep.
We're in evaluation mode.
Yep.
To see what we're going to be able to salvage from this situation.
The amazing thing about Memphis, despite all of this that's gone on, is if you look at their away record, they're 11-10. How is that even possible?
They're holding court.
Yeah, they're 3-15 at home, but they're 11-10 on the road.
That just goes to show that a lot of times, Scott, when your team isn't at home, you're on the road, all you have is your teammates. All the distractions are gone, all the outside chatter's gone. All you have are your teammates. You can concentrate and play a better brand of ball.
Yeah. All right, let's turn our attention to a former Sacramento King, Marvin Bagley. Of course, we know the number 2 pick. We're not going to relive all of that. Traded to Detroit. Trey Lyles coming our way. Worked out well for Sacramento. Now the Pistons are unloading on Marvin Bagley. 2 future round second picks, Isaiah Livers, to the Wizards for Gallinari, Mike Muscala. And that allows the Pistons to unload $12.5 million of his guaranteed contract for 24 and 25. It's now off the books. The Wizards also getting those 2 second-round picks in 25 and 26. And, it's amazing where Marvin Bagley's career has gone, isn't it? I mean, just from where the hype and everything, the hope. And
I just hope he gets a chance because I think Marvin Bagley is very talented. Mm-hmm. I just hope that he gets a chance to play in a system that's conducive to his playing style.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's still a chance for Marvin to turn his career around at this point?
To where they thought he was going to be?
It's never going to get to being a number 2 pick.
Put it this way, Marvin Bagley career is going to never be what they perceived him to be because he went before Luka.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for Marvin Bagley to be where they perceived him, he would have to be killing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, basically tearing the league up, looking at what Luka's done because he's behind him.
No question. I mean, there's 2 parts to the story, right? Part of it is he's the number 2 pick, right? So you've got that expectation, but the other part of it is the Luka drama that lived out.
You always have that when, we had it with De'Aaron Fox and Lonzo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Lonzo Ball will never be able to live up to what De'Aaron Fox is doing.
Right, and the Lakers took him with the 3rd pick.
Right. So, it's one of those things to where whenever you have a player that comes out highly coveted and he doesn't quite live up to what he's supposed to do, and the guy that was picked right up under him becomes a star and shoots off in a megastar, you're not going to ever be able to live up.
Yeah, no, I think that's very, very true. All right, let's go around the league. Let's check out some of the games from last night, then we'll go into the games from today. The Celtics last night, it was the return of Ime Udoka to Boston for the first time since being let go as head coach of the Celtics. The Rockets got rolled in Boston 145-113. No shame there. The Celtics, they're 39, but they're 19-0 at home.
Wow.
They were undefeated at home through 19 games. Now, one of the Celtics teams in the 80s, I forget the year, the great teams with Larry Bird and McHale and Parrish, they had one year where they went 40-1 at home.
Woo! I mean, that's when you balling.
Yeah.
That's when you ball. That's when you walk into this place, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on. If you don't bring your A game, it's over with. You must have gone home.
Mm-hmm. All right. Wizards, that team that is now getting Marvin Bagley, blew out the Hawks last night, 127-99. The Hawks are 15-23. They're 6-11 at home. They're not playing well whatsoever. Seems like a team that we should start talking along with Chicago, Toronto.
The Sellers?
As sellers.
On that squad right now, the way it's constructed, okay, I don't think they're going to move Trey.
No.
Trey won't be the guy that gets moved. But what else on that roster looks even intriguing?
Bogey.
Okay, a 2-guard small forward.
Come off the bench, you talk about 6-man.
That can shoot, but ain't playing no D. Okay, who else?
I think he's the biggest one. DeJounte Murray's probably the biggest one.
I would probably say he might be untouchable also.
Ooh, I don't know. He's got a huge contract.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is I don't know if it's working. Obviously, it's not working out between Trey and him right now. Just look at the record.
But I'm just saying that contract might make it to where we can't move him without taking on a ton.
Yeah.
Capella, maybe.
Yeah. I think anybody and everybody minus Trey, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. The Knicks, they beat up on the Grizzlies 106-94. The Knicks are 6-1 with OG Anunoby since they've made that trade.
The Knicks got just what the doctor ordered, Scott. A guy that's going to come in there. We talked about it with the Golden State Warriors. A guy that's going to come there and do the dirty work. And now he takes a whole lot of stress off of your players. Now they get to do whatever they want. So the big fella can just live now. He don't have to worry about doing everything on the defensive end because you got another guy that's going to help him chip in.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, Randall's playing great.
They're Randall and Brunson, and now you've got OG. You've got 3 guys.
But what I'm saying is that you take a lot off of Randall's plate, and now he could be Herculean on the offensive side.
Sure.
Kind of like when you bring Rudy Gobert over, can't get to express more on the offensive side. All of that stuff works together.
No doubt. And with the Knicks, maybe in a position where they get one more person, they might be a threat in the Eastern Conference. We haven't been talking about them, but
I would say they are probably one Javonte Murray away.
Yeah, who knows what they might do before the deadline.
You bring one more guy over to that squad.
Exactly.
And now they're legitimate 4.
Yes.
I'm still going to say Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly.
Yeah.
But you give them one more player that can do a little something,
they're in the
they might be a 4.
No doubt. All right. The Thunder winning again last night at home over the Magic 112-100. They're 27-11. They're 16-5 at home, and they're tied for the best record in the West.
They rolling.
They are rolling.
They are.
Nobody expected them to be this good this fast.
No, not at all. But I thought they would be good because we had a chance to see that last year late.
Sure.
When they start playing, I'm like, wait a minute, this team ain't gonna be bad. When they get Chet back, they're gonna make some noise.
Yep.
And and with SGA leading them, man, they got a bunch of young players that are hungry. The organization lets them go, lets them play. And when you got a guy like SGA running the helm, man, they are playing some very good ball.
A true MVP. How about the Pelicans last night? No Zion, no Brandon Ingram, no CJ McCollum. They beat the Mavs on the road. Mavs didn't have Luka, but still, the Pels winning 118-108. They're 24-16. They're 12-8 away from home. They're 12-8 at home.
Wow,
they're playing great basketball, and we saw what they did to us here in Sacramento. They did the same exact thing to the Golden State Warriors on Wednesday.
And Scott, we saw just like we just got through talking about OKC last year. Where was New Orleans at last year before Zion went down? They were numero uno. Exactly.
Yes,
they were number 1,
Yep.
and they brought back that exact same squad.
Yeah, no, they're looking good. And finally, wrapping things up, the Jazz are rolling right now. They've won 5 straight, 8 straight at home. They're 21-20 above 500. They beat the Lakers last night, 132-125, a team that we thought that was playing for the lottery again. Well, they're playing for a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, that's just one more wrinkle into how the West turns because how many of these teams are going to be in the hunt for a playoff berth?
No doubt. Give the Jazz a lot of credit. They have turned things around with that winning record. They're currently 9th in the Western Conference. All right, we go to the break. When we come back, we'll focus in on Kings and Bucks. Game night brought to you by Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. If you have a heart of service, you want to do something good for kids who are in need of mentorship in our community, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, a great way to do it. Give them a call, 916-646-9300, or go to bbbs-sac.org to learn all about becoming a volunteer mentor. More of Game Night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Alrighty, we're live on YouTube.
Alrighty.
We're connecting with the engineer in Milwaukee.
Very good. How is our stream?
It seems like we're having fun. I assume the poll is still, overwhelmingly Malik Monk coming back. It seemed like everyone is.
You mean it's not other? It's not Alec Burks?
Look, I'm not saying it had to. I'm just giving people the option to trade for the starter.
Fair enough.
That was
He's throwing a jab out there at you, Kyle.
Jab. Yeah, I got you.
That's wrong. And y'all buddies.
I know. What else? Oh, yeah, you were talking about Utah earlier. So I was thinking all year I've been saying, I think the Rockets are going to be the team that falls back to earth at some point. The Warriors will slide up. But as the Warriors keep sliding and the Jazz keep winning against playoff caliber teams, I'm starting to think, that the Jazz might actually have a puncher's chance of making the playoff. And I know last year they people got hurt and they kind of started playing lottery ping pong balls. But
I mean, Sexton, Clarkson, and a true all-star, maybe becoming a superstar in Markkanen. That's not a bad combo.
It's not bad to get the 10 seed in the West. That is absolutely true, which I didn't think they were going to be in that game at the start of the year. So good on Utah, and Keontae George has been pretty good. So yeah, we'll see what happens for them.
Well, they're rolling right now, at least.
Yeah, they're rolling right now. So you guys were talking about that at the end, and I wanted to get in on the Utah Jazz talk.
There you go.
They
Very
are
good on that.
They're having a good little run here.
All right. Anything else on our stream?
Some people are reveling in the Cowboys losing. I know that for sure.
They did score before the end of half, so it's 27-7, third quarter just underway.
And they get the ball back, which they're not out of it, obviously, but
pretty close. It's the largest halftime playoff deficit in Cowboys history.
I don't want to say that they can't come back and win this game, but I mean, it is a little bit explainable. I mean, they have two interceptions that led to two quick
There's no
scores
explanation for the Cowboys to lose at home in the playoffs other than Mike McCarthy's going to get fired if they do.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the obvious one, is that Mike McCarthy's going down.
There is no excuse that Jerry Jones would or should accept.
Well, to lose in this round, if they made it to the NFC Championship game, that would be different conversation.
Maybe. I think Big Mike got all his bags packed at the arena right now.
He's flying back with the Packers after this.
You want a house in the Dallas area? Got 100 square feet, extra 100 square foot in your house. I think Mike McCarthy's selling at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't seem good. It would take a miracle comeback.
I don't know. They just need to not turn the ball over anymore.
All right.
That's
what else basketball related do we have?
Nothing dramatic. I mean, obviously, so. We don't know yet if Kevin Huerter is going to play yet. I don't believe. I'm going to ask. I have not gotten an update on that yet.
Okay.
Kevin Huerter is going to play. That's according to Deuce Mason.
Fantastic, Deuce. We appreciate the insight there. That's great.
So that is, I'm guessing that'll be the fifth starter for the game today.
I don't know. Is Huerter going to start tonight or not? What do you think, Highflyer?
At this point, does it matter?
I don't know if it matters or not, but I am interested to know.
I mean, it hasn't equated to a big difference.
No.
That's my thing. Whether he starts, I got no problem with it. Whether Duarte start, I have no problem with it. Both of those guys have given us pretty much equally. So it's okay. It don't turn the level up.
Welcome back to the game night right here. Sacktown Sports 1140s. Good conversation in our Sacktown stream during the timeouts. All right. Game night being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at mbofstockton.com. Let's get you to the injury report for tonight. We do have some news. Dave Deuce Mason, kind enough to share with us. Kevin Huerter will be available tonight. So the question is, will he start? We'll find out here momentarily on that Kings Live pregame's coming up at 3:30. They will have all the information on that. It's a 4:00 tip. G-Man with the call. So Kevin Huerter available for the Bucks. No Chris Middleton. He is out knee management. He played last night. He's not playing back-to-backs yet as they try to get him fully healthy. Jay Crowder's been out for a while with the adductor injury. No Chris Livingston, non-COVID illness. The injury report brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm, providing justice for you since 1975. If you're injured, call the Arnold Law Firm at 916-777-7777. All right. If you're the king, yes, go ahead.
How about that other monster they have locked down in the dungeon?
Help me out.
Is he going to be able to play the freak?
Yes, Giannis is playing tonight.
Okay, see, that's the one that bothers me. All them other cats we can talk about, I want to know, is he going?
Giannis is going tonight.
All right.
But he did play a lot of minutes last night in the game against the Warriors. They played all their starters 33 minutes plus.
You know, because it was something out there saying that he has a shoulder injury, and he was like, game time decision or something like that.
All right. Well, he's not listed on the Bucks injury report. I'll say that much. So,
okay.
So as far as I know, he is going tonight. But knowing all of that for the Kings tonight, what's the key?
Not to go down by 20 in the first quarter.
That's always a good one.
Yeah, that one. Play Kings basketball. You know, I hate to be like Debbie Downer on them, because like I said, I still think they're a good basketball team, but they really going to have to figure that out, Scott. These slow starts on the offensive end, and then letting the other team score. You can have a slow start, but you can't let the other team come out and just go crazy to where you get down 20, 25 points in the first half.
Agreed with you. And in the matchups, I mean, without Middleton out there, they don't have the big three. This is a game I want to see Keegan get more involved. I want to see Harrison Barnes more involved tonight. You know,
if we can get an aggressive Harrison Barnes and an engaged Herter, we're good because everybody else is showing up. We're just missing in those two spots right there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a little more consistency, certainly from Harrison, who, again, has been averaging under single digits in the last 7 games. All right, that's going to do it for game night. High Flyer is always great to work with you. Enjoy the call tonight.
Yeah, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this Dallas game, too.
Cowboys still down 27-7, 10 minutes to go in the third quarter of that game. And again, as we know, the Bucs fan, there won't be a single one paying attention to the Bucs-Kings game until the Green Bay game is over in Wisconsin.
More Larry Cheese.
Come on. Coming up next, Kings Live pregame. Jason Ross is here with the High Flyer for that. G-Man with the call tonight. Keep it tuned here all afternoon and evening long. Kings basketball coming your way right here on Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23.